Hello everyone, I'm Andrew Voss and welcome to Awesome 80s on Fox League. This is the program where we showcase 2 games each week over half an hour from the fabulous era that was the 80s. And for this episode, I've picked a couple of unique matches. The first is from the 1987 State of Origin, Game 4 of the series. What's that? That's right, a 4th game was played in the series in 87. And for the first time in history, it was a game played outside of Sydney or Brisbane. It wasn't in another city of Australia though, it was taken all the way to Long Beach, California, the US of A.
From Veterans Stadium, Long Beach, California, the Tuies Interstate Challenge, Queensland versus New South Wales.
We're New South Wales and we're Queensland, we're Australia's one and all. Coming to your country to show our brand of ball. When Australians get to playing for the state where they were born, excitement comes to California, Lord.
And out they come here at Veterans Stadium, Long Beach, California, for the 21st State of Origin Rugby League encounter. But more important, the very first ever played here in the United States on this fateful evening. There's the New South Wales team out first. Veterans Stadium, a bike track. Well known to movie fans for the closing scenes that featured in the movie The Rose, starring Bette Midler. And out come the Queensland team, led by the skipper Wally Lewis.
The Americans standing by as Vorton drives the ball off for Queensland. Taken by Peter Sterling, comes back 12 metres over and runs into the red jumpers, and this defence is on already. We'll talk about the boundaries a little later on. Oh, and a big hit on Tunks, but he unloads it. He gets a little handball away. He stood up there, though, and there's a little bit on. It's on now in Southern California. Good old Aussie Biffo. And the Americans love it. Well, what do we say about this defence? It's revved up, both sides. Want to win this one. Dale Shearer now. Right in front. 4 or 5 paces back. And there it is. This will be the first points ever scored. Yes, he's got it. So Queensland hit the front 2-0. That's the first time points have been scored in America by a rugby league player. Historic moment there.
It's across to Sterling, to Davidson. Davidson had a runner in lines but couldn't offload. Simmons dummy half. Switch of play to Sterling. Then to Langmack, another cutout pass from McGaw back to O'Connor. Kenyon hands for Eddinghausen. Close to the line, he's there. Great try from New South Wales. Andrew Eddinghausen it was, in the corner, in the shadows.
Finally, McGaw picks it up. He's waiting for Ed to come through. He arrives in. Their fullback Belcher seems to be a little out of position on that.
So the first try in a rugby league match in the United States, the kick was unsuccessful. The score, New South Wales 4, lead Queensland 2. Here's Docking running into the big men, bounces off them, comes back at them again. You coach this fellow, Jack, he must be really tough.
Well, he's small but tough.
Here's O'Connor making a bust for New South Wales. The kick through, the chase is on. The ball is there, but Queensland have it. No, it's a try. It's a try to New South Wales.
Well, he certainly put in something here. He cut back in. He's got the kick in. Well, there's a bit of confusion there in the goal line, whether he got his hand to it, McGaw, or not, but it looked fair enough on television.
There is the kick, and that's fair enough too, right between the posts. The Lions linking up nicely with Jonathan Docking now. Docking stepping and running straight into the arms of Shearer, and Shearer got a short one in for his trouble. Touch judge Barry Gomersall from Queensland running in to report Shearer. Barry Gomersall, of course, controversial referee in Australia. He handled 2 of the State of Origin matches. Here is the incident. That's Shearer putting him down. And there is that little left hand. Only a little one. Simmons picks it up to restart. Less than a minute to go to the half-time break. Boyle takes the ball up strongly towards the Queensland quarter line. Here's Tunks inside the quarter now. Sterling, blindside move, linking up with Langmack, but Langmack's pass to Ettinghausen has gone into the dust as the seconds ticking away towards the halftime break. And the referee not happy with it. Siren will sound any moment. Queensland ball. There's the hooter, it's not a siren, it's a hooter. And referee Stone signals half-time as this good crowd here at Veterans Stadium give the teams a rousing reception as they leave the field after 40 minutes of non-stop action here at Long Beach.
A few players have been thinking about this there, and too, with a few stars floating around the head. Some big hits as Docking, who's played very well tonight, wearing the headgear as he does in club games back in Sydney for the Cronulla side, as Tunks takes it up. He's tackled midway between the quarter and a half. Under Sterling, cut out pass, gets it onto Langmack, comes out now to O'Connor, a bit of room to move O'Connor. Ettinghausen puts it into gear now. He's got O'Connor backing him up. The kick and chase, it's on. Lewis is there. It's gone loose. Try! O'Connor over for New South Wales after a very, very good break from Andrew Ettinghausen. Oh, nice play, New South Wales, and Ettinghausen hasn't enjoyed that one much. O'Connor, all the skills, this man. Look at the way he balances himself when he runs. He gets it onto Ettinghausen. He put it into overdrive. E.T. can see the defence coming across. A lovely little chip kick went in. O'Connor there. Lewis dived. O'Connor too quick. Lewis misses the ball. O'Connor scores. And the man who scored that try now, waiting for the conversion. There it is. About 15 metres off centre. And it's there too. So New South Wales racing away to a lead, Ian Maurice.
Queensland got it all to do now, haven't they? They've behind by 14 points. It's now 16 points to 2. Here's Lyons. McCaw. No big pardons out there as Gilmister and Lewis put him down. Now it's up to almost on the halfway mark. 3 tackles gone for New South Wales. Here's Boyle. Back inside Queensland territory, 16-2. New South Wales lead. Noel Cleal from dummy half. Made about 10 metres. Last tackle signal. Penalty New South Wales. And it's against Canescu. Looks good to me. Looks good to the touch judges. And it's another 2 points to New South Wales. 18 points to 2. New South Wales lead Queensland. Queensland in possession. Here's Lewis. The kick is chased by Johnston. He's got support from Docking, but he's run away from Docking. Takes the tackle just short of the quarter line. Grandstand side of the field. 18-2 is the score in favour of New South Wales. Now here's Sterling getting it away to Boyle. Boyle on the quarter line before he's put down. Sterling again dummy half. This time Tunks full of running. Linked up with Lyons. Got a pass away to Ettinghausen. Ettinghausen over the halfway mark. The kick in field by Ettinghausen. Chase for the ball. Ettinghausen still there. Ettinghausen has got it. No, Docking's got it. Touches down. That is a try. Another great try to New South Wales. Great work from Andrew Ettinghausen. This was Tunks running strongly. The pass from Lyons found Ettinghausen. Down the touchline he went. Too much pace for the winger. Infield kick. A chase here for the ball between Belcher and Ettinghausen. Just bouncing over Ettinghausen's shoulder. Jackson got a hand to it. It was still free, but then Jonathan Docking, backing up his Cronulla teammate, was there to touch down. Now, about 3 metres in from touch. O'Connor, wide from his boot. Never given a chance. Score remains 22 points to 2.
On the Docking, out to Lyons. Lyons holds a lovely pass out from McGaw. McGaw stringing down. Can he get it inside the Docking? The little man gets it going. Docking, the defence comes round and they get him. Just a couple of metres out, Docking. Oh, what a game from this little man tonight. New South Wales still have the ball alive. It's punched back. Ball fumbling all over the place. And a chance missed there, Jack.
Well, it certainly was. He was a metre out. but they got to him. You congratulate the defence, but there's a couple of... New South Wales has come up with a penalty because when the ball went back, the Queensland people coming back onside, well, they're never onside.
This ground surface is not as even as we know in Australian grounds, and they've been having a little trouble with the kicks tonight, grounding the feet, but that's a better one. So now New South Wales really starting to take it to Queensland now, 24 points to 2.
Langer. French has lost it behind him. Scramble for possession. Touched by New South Wales. 6 tackles restart for Queensland. Here comes Jackson. Jackson getting a pass away. And that is a try. Tony Curry. Off the side of the boot. No chance. 24-6 remains the score. New South Wales lead Queensland.
On to Langer, the little man. Jinks turns it back inside to Gilmister. He flicks one out the back door. Lewis grabs it. On the French. Turns it back inside the Miles. Yes, and a try! Queensland hit back in the dying moments of this game. Gene Miles, he's tried his heart out tonight and he went over. Comes back to Langer. Langer on to Lewis. Lewis swings it back inside to Shearer again. This time he's got a bit of room to move. Comes out to Jackson. Jackson looking for French. He gets it to French. French fighting to get the ball away, but can't. He's right on the halfway line. Langer now gets it out to Jackson. Jackson finding Scott. Scott puts on the pace, flicks one out and intercept. Oh, Cliffy Lyons! Cliffy Lyons is down at home! Cliffy Lyons will go over. You can bet your life on it. Yes, New South Wales in through an intercept. Oh, Lyons has got plenty of pace, let me tell you. Open him up.
Should not have a great deal of trouble with this one.
I think that toy kangaroo would kick this one.
Here's Langer. Now Lewis, he'll try and put something on. Away goes Lindner. Running strongly, looking for support from Shearer. Found it, and Shearer's in for a well-deserved try. After the full-time siren has sounded, Queensland have gone in via Dale Shearer. And as I say, he certainly deserved that try because he's been one of Queensland's best players tonight. Watch it with us again. It was Langer, and then it was Lewis, Miles, and Lindner who beat the defence. As the tackler got to him, he was able to offload it to Shearer, unmarked.
He's had a terrific, he's played great in club football. He's played great here.
And there you go. He's added the extras. So the final score, New South Wales 30 beating Queensland 18 in what has been an historic game of rugby league in the United States.
Welcome back to Awesome 80s as we showcase some fabulous games from that great era. And the second game in this episode again has a unique theme, but this time it's an international. From July 1988 at the Sydney Football Stadium, an Australian side captained by Wally Lewis, including names like Mal Meninga, Andrew Eddinghausen, Alan Langer, takes on the rest of the world. It was just after a Great Britain tour had concluded, and the rest of the world side included the likes of Ellery Hanley and Andy Gregory, and a fabulous Kiwi in Mark Graham. Doesn't happen all that often, but it happened in the awesome 80s, Australia versus the rest of the world.
And the referee for tonight's game, Graham Anui from Papua New Guinea. So what a big night for him, Jack.
Well, I'd never seen him before. Oh, geez. Papua New Guinea, huh?
Mal Meninga, back in the colours of green and gold that he's carried so proudly for so many years. And there's the kickoff. Oh, and a mishandle from Gregory, but it goes backwards, so he picks up and runs about 14 metres out before he's dropped. The world team now deep in their 22, desperately trying to get out of there. Touch judge is in already, saying nothing he wants happening in back play.
Well, I missed it, Darryl. Maybe it'll come up in replay if we get a shot of it.
Shelford takes the ball up. Nothing there that we can see. Sam Bacco already receiving some treatment from the trainer on a finger. That's probably the one he dislocated a few weeks ago and has been having some trouble with it. Mal Meninga moves in. Straight as a die. So Australia lead the rest of the world 2-0. Here's Shelford. He's a big man, this Shelford. He ran into a couple of big men there too. Miller very busy in defence already.
Now they're going to use the blind, I think.
Gregory shows the ball, gets it onto Iro. He's got some pace. Iro, Dean Bell on the outside. Iro's in, and the rest of the world are gone. He said he's a stepper. Oh, he's very fast. Kevin Iro, New Zealand centre in for the rest of the world.
That's a good play. They fool me. They set up for the blind side and come open. And he got through there and he slipped out. Jack couldn't hang on. Picked up 4 points.
Gary Mercer. There's the kick. Waved away. Score remains. Rest of the world 4, Australia 2. On comes Bacco. Ward coming in from about 4 or 5 metres out to wrap him up. Canescu dummy half. On to Miller. Back to Lewis. Lewis spins, too much defence. Shelford and Hanley. Canescu again onto Miller. He's the ball player in this pack. That's what he's there for. Gary Jack. Beautiful pass. Gary Jack. He's got Langer there in support. Langer brought down though, and they're about 15 metres out Australia. G. Miles onto Miller. Miller with another good pass for Lewis. It goes on to Pearce. Pearce steps out on one. Pearce. Look at the defence coming to Henninghausen. Oh, he's there. Australia in the answer. The rest of the world side with another good try. Handling the ball. Good passing from Australia and good backing up.
Well, the good play here probably was from Miller and Pearce. Miller was in there before you see it there. And then out to Ettinghouse. But Miller went right to the defence. He put the brake on Pearce. And Nowden, he was ready.
Pearce here. Now here it is where he steps out of the defence. And that was Cooper's tackle that he'd beaten. And Ettinghausen over, just 22 years of age, plays for the Cronulla club. Mal Meninga. Moving into the kick. Waved away though. Score remains. Australia 6, the rest of the world 4. Wallace on to Gregory. This is Ward. Wound up Ward. Took it deep. Gets a nice ball onto Gregory. Can he link up Gregory? No one there. Cooper looking for the dummy half spot, but Wallace says it's mine. There's a little chip kick ahead. Taken by Lewis. That came from Gregory, the halfback. Langer to Miller. Referee once again awarding the penalty to the rest of the world.
Well, I can't work that one out. He's hunting them back. I don't think he knew who had the football in.
Ward. Back to Gregory. This is a set move. We watched Graham. Goes on to Mike Gregory. They'll score off that. Now we watched them at Rush Cutters Bay yesterday, putting that move together, and they spent 1 hour working that out. There's a crisscross scissor movement here. Ward turns it back. Mark Graham is the key to this move. There he is there, very wide Mark Graham, slips the ball to Mike Gregory, and there's just no one at home. Gary Mercer trying to convert the try and does so too. So the score now getting away a little bit from Australia. 8 points to 6, 10 points to 6. Roach getting involved, the big fella tonight. Delighted to be back in the green and gold. Canescu onto Langer. Langer with a floater. Nobody was waiting for that one. Meninga takes it with a lucky bounce. Hanley takes him. The ball goes loose. Henderson-Gill's got it. He winds up. Gill down the sideline. Oh, out of one. Look at Gill. He's got some pace. Racing at Gill. Will he get there? Oh, great defence. What a great tackle. And that was Sir Gary Jack. How many times have we seen him do that this year? Oh, great stuff, Gary Jack. Look at this. Henderson-Gill roaring down the touchline. Gary Jack just came from nowhere and slammed him into touch. Gary Jack about 5 metres out, so Australia with a chance. Langer. Oh, Langer gets under a high one there, making the little fella. Won't worry him as tough as teak. Lewis. Oh, he's so strong, he's done it again. Well, Lewis, he's so strong. He did that against Great Britain at this very ground, at that end of the ground. Swivels and turns and just keeps driving with the legs. Mal Meninga sets himself in front. Kick to come and it's successful, so it's now 12-10 Australia's way in a tight one.
Hanley tried to kick through, can't, unloads that to Dean Bell. Dean Bell winds up now and gets a ball away to Cooper. He slips it to Ward. Ward goes forward. They've got support coming through. Can't take it. Backo says it's mine. And they take it off Backo. Mr. Nui says no, and there's a bit of back chat, so he marches him 10 metres.
Well, he didn't compliment him on his moustache, I suppose, for marching 10. It was a correct decision to start with.
His signals are very good. He just indicated a little back chat there. I like the man. In the air. And this time waved away, so the score remains 12-10, Australia's favour over the rest of the world. And there's the kick-off. Recommence proceedings here. Gary Jack had a strong first half. Runs it back. Oh, and almost through too, and that's another high tackle. That's the third one that's been affected now. And he set him off. 5 in the sin bin. And that's Ward coming off. The third time Gary Jack's been hit high tonight. The rest of the world one short for 5 minutes. Here's Roach now as he winds up almost through the first line of defence. Wallace takes him. Back for Canescu. On to Miller. He gets it on to Backo. Backo still going. Charging Backo. Downfield and a rampaging ball. The big man from Canberra. Oh, he's big and strong and in a mood to run tonight. Out to Lewis. Lewis through one. Australia looking dangerous here with Miller. Now Langer moved out from dummy half. There's a set move coming on. Comes out to Roach. On to Pearce. Here's Meninga. Can he unload? No. Mike Gregory, good defence then, snapped him down. Comes back to Langer. Out to Lewis. Lewis with a quick pass out to Gary Jack, stepping his way through. So he's okay after that knock. Last tackle. Lewis. On to Miles. Out to Rhodes. Got to be a try here. Australia, so easy, quick hands, right along the back line, and McGaw's in. Here we go, ball's in the air, and it's there this time. So, Australia now lead the rest of the world 18 points to 10. Gregory gets it out for Hanley. Mike Gregory dances around, floats a loose one back. They've done this a couple of times tonight. This is Kovai. Kovai winding up. Taken though. About 16 metres out from the line. Henderson Gill gets it onto Iro. Iro strong goes, gets it back to Gill. Gill winds up. Gill, can he straighten out? Yes, gonna be close. Can he get it down? No, Gary Jack wrapped him up. Oh, good defence from Gary Jack. Gee, he's been strong tonight, Jack. We'll look for a replacement in a moment. Des Hasler is on for Australia. OK, this is Iro. We'll stay with us at the moment. Iro's out of one. He's got support. Oh, the pass has gone loose. Kovai has picked it up, but the referee has seen a knock on and will have a scrum. Mal Meninga looking in that arm, and let's hope it is all right. Oh, he's had some dreadful luck with that arm. Broken it twice. Enormous padding he's wearing. He's looking pretty upset about it as the medics work on him and the trainers. Close to the line, Lewis. They'll spin it out wide. No, they turn around through Miles. Now he gets it back to Lewis. That's a move you see in the Broncos games quite often, Jack. Lewis trailing G. Miles.
Well, they had the right people there to execute it.
Chance here. Pass out by Mark McGaw in. Yes. Well, just quick hands. Another handball pass along the line, and Mark McGaw is in. Try number 2 for Mark McGaw. Here he goes. Let's see what he can do with it. Well, it's in the air, but it's way off beam. Waved away, so the score remains 22 points to Australia, the rest of the world 10. Finally, he still can't get on. Fullerton Smith, hands on the hips, are looking pretty frustrated about it all. He's taking the place of Gavin Miller. G. Miles gets it on to Pearce. They're close, Australia. Look at Langer, trying to link up. Ball goes loose, comes back to Roach. He straightens it up. Lobs one over the top. McIndoe takes it on the first bounce. Oh, tries to put it over, but can't. But just manages to stay in play, and that's something the rest of the world side had trouble with doing. Well, there's Gavin Miller off. And he's in a fine game, Jack. Andy Gregory. Henderson Gill. And a penalty has been given. Steve Roach, the offender, marching back with a look of dismay on his face. But this is Iro. After that first try, really hasn't had the chance to get out on the open ground, Iro. We haven't seen him step. But by G showed it in that first early minutes of the first half. Sammy Stewart turns it back to Ward. Ward straightens up. Fullerton Smith over the top, though, and manages to bring the big fella down. Pouget dummy half. Comes back for Dean Bell. Gregory tries to kick off the ground. Offside was Canescu, but it's all over here. No one heard the siren go. The crowd has got up, and Australia have defeated the rest of the world 22 points to 10 here at the Sydney Football Stadium. The referee, Mr. Graham Anui, I think, would feel well pleased with what he's done tonight.
This has been a Fox Sports production.